Hey guys, Flawless Exotic Creations here. Will and me. Baby, hurry up. Come on, I ain't got all day for this. I gotta go and feed. It's 9:30. Come on. You gonna be doing this video by yourself? Baby, come on now. Seriously. We gotta go. It's 9:32. It's 9:32. You gonna be feeding all the geckos by yourself. Now you're just getting on my nerves.
Hey guys, what's going on? Flawless Exotic Creations, Will and Audra.
Annoying. It's so annoying.
Coming to you guys with another video. Kind of a proof of concept topic again. And this video, hold on to your britches. Ain't that how y'all say it in the country? Hold on to your britches. So, if you guys have been following us for a while, or if you haven't, hit that subscribe button and follow us.
And the notification bell.
We are not known for controversy. And this topic could be controversial, but we're going to explain it, hopefully in detail.
I believe we're in the minority, aren't we?
I think somewhat. It's a really, really big community. So really, I don't know. You guys, this is a really good topic to comment down below about and to talk about, because it's really about genes and specific sources of genes and where you got your genes from.
Integrity of genes.
Gene testing, which we completely believe in, but gene testing has not been around since day one. It's just coming around now. Right. Which creates some issues for some genes.
And when we say integrity of gene,
right,
we don't mean integrity as being if it's got 100% of that integrity, it being the positive and no integrity the negative. That's not what we're talking about. Integrity more so like of a specific type of gene.
Right. So to lead into it, we're talking about incomplete dominant genes as well as recessive genes. And it's really, really, kind of crazy a little bit because of how genes work in the ball python eras. You have genes that can come out now, and I mean literally like in 2023, and won't relatively be popular until, I don't know, 2030. Or you have, older genes in 2024 that won't make it and be popular to now. Or 2014, did I say that? 2014, and won't be popular to now, almost 10 years later. And it fluctuates where you have older genes become popular now and stuff like that, because people want to see it in certain combos. Sometimes you see it in those combos and it's not impressive, or it is impressive, and it sparks interest into that gene from the masses, especially when the top guys kind of, that's very
grab a hold on
video friendly, industry friendly, and grab a hold onto it and put it out there in some really cool combos.
I mean, it's the same thing as like celebrity driven products.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of times if you are, I don't know, some of the biggest celebrities in the world, say Denzel Washington, if Denzel Washington were to ever put his name on something, it would be like the masses would go and purchase it,
Right.
It's kind of like in the female world, I guess, like the Kim Kardashian, when she puts her name on stuff, loads of people flock to buy her products.
Right.
So I mean, like
I've seen that in the industry now, and you guys probably know it too. And not throwing any names out there, but if you get one of the top 5 guys that's doing ball pythons, and shoot, hey, we over here guys too, Flawless Exotic Creations, you tag us and you bring us, say, hey, we seen this video from these guys, Flawless, or whatever. I'm throwing it in there as a joke. But you get these top 5 guys that they grab a hold on to a smaller breeder, whether it's because they purchased a combo from them or whether they like what they're doing and they kind of debut them on their platform. it brings notoriety with that. You know, it brings attention to that brand where other people may not have heard of that brand before. So it's the same thing.
It's credibility too.
Right. So we say all that because the really, really controversial topic we're going to talk about is the DG
versus
enhancer. That's kind of top of the list.
Is it the same? Is it different?
Right. DG versus enhancer, Coral Glow versus banana, lesser versus butter.
Is it Ultramel and Monarch? But I believe that's been
Ultramel, Monarch is two different jeans.
It's two different jeans.
Completely two different jeans.
Moray and Monsoon.
Moray and Monsoon. But if you know about that, Monsoon has been around for quite some time.
What about Hurricane Blitz Trick?
Yeah, that's another one. Hurricane Blitz Trick. And the reason, anything you can think of that are the same jeans, but given different names.
Yeah, with them being proven to actually be able to work together, right?
Right, proven to work together, have the same supers. Before we get to the main topic, you have to also agree that there are going to be different qualities of these jeans as well. We've seen clowns out there where it's a low quality clown versus a high quality
I think Mandarin's kind of like that, isn't it?
I think every jean is like that, where you're going to have high expression and lower expression.
Like not all Mandarins are created equal. Not all
any jean is
created equal.
So we're a little all over the place, but you guys get the gist of it. That basically you're going to have a grading system for any jean you're working with, whether incomplete dominant or recessive. You're going to have the best quality. You should be trying to work with the best quality of whatever jean you're going to work with. That's what we try to do ourselves as well. But that being said, being that a lot of these jeans are really, really old, like we said it from the beginning, and they kind of make their way back around to fame or attention.
Make their way.
Yeah, you have to know that the integrity of the jean itself may not be completely intact.
Right.
And it's not pointing fingers at anyone.
No.
It's just trying to get you guys to really open your eyes.
Well, it's the normal cycle of things. Like this happens across the board, with anything. When it's like the telephone game, basically. Mm-hmm. You may have one person say something to one individual, but by the time it gets through years of time and other people and other areas of that particular industry, at the other person on the very tail end is maybe getting something that's completely different, or that's just not as verbatim of what it was when it left the initial horse's mouth.
Right, and it works hand in hand because it's so easy to do it in this specific industry. So let's take a break from snakes for a minute and get you guys to think. All right, let's go to cars, baby.
Yeah.
So we're over to cars, right? And I'm gonna be a Honda certified mechanic, okay? And in theory, whatever the Honda is, Honda Civic, I'm gonna work on this Honda Civic, and now the customer brings in the Acura Integra. Guess what? It's the same car. It's the same car.
It's different branding.
It's different branding.
Different company.
A different company. Maybe this goes different, but it's the same vehicle. It's the same nuts and bolts. Different interior. Different. Shoot, our cars. Mm-hmm. Audra has I have a beautiful, Infiniti G35. Mm. She has an incredibly slow Nissan.
My Nissan. Okay, here, let's decide it right now. All right, my car is a Nissan 370Z. Okay, 2-door, no back seat. All right. His Infiniti G35 is 2-door, back seat.
All right,
wait. He wants to claim that his Infiniti G35 is faster than my 370.
Let me ask you a question. Which one you like driving more?
Yours. That doesn't matter.
That's it.
It doesn't have any. No. My car is more difficult to drive, and everybody can say this, that not all clutches are made equal as well. So therefore, it is more difficult to drive, but it is the faster vehicle.
I do have to teach you how to
No, you do
clutch.
not. Look, I learned driving my clutch on 4-wheel drives on rocks.
Which is
that's
how you drive
completely
your car,
different.
too.
Yeah, it's legitimately how I drive my cars. But anyway, that being said, like, my car, given the right driver, is much faster than your car.
It's not. Anyway, that's a squirrel moment.
It's lighter.
Guys.
It's lighter.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
But you guys hopefully know
Put it
where
in
we're
the
heading
comments.
with this.
Infiniti G35 versus Nissan 370.
Team Will.
Team
That's
Audra.
the way to go. But
Whatever.
I say that because for the mechanics and the interior and how things works and repairs and things like that, you're going to have different mechanics that work on the source of certain vehicles. There's a number of vehicles in the industry
One I can legitimately think of right now is the Ford Explorer versus the Mercury Mountaineer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same vehicle.
They stopped making the Mercury Mountaineer, but the point that we're trying to make is the hardware, the interior, the motor, everything on the inside is the same. Which,
Right.
in equating this to our industry, the gene, the mutation itself, the same, but the outward package, the branding may be different.
Right. So in this, back over to the snake industry, if you take that concept back over to the snake industry, it's even looser as far as that goes, because I mean, we're dealing with snakes, you know, we're the enjoyment of genes and
Not
how they
dealing
appear,
with-
not with, you know, accessories.
I'm gonna
and things
put
like
this
that.
block with this block, and
Right.
this is how it's gonna look. You're dealing with genetics, which
Right.
is completely different.
So DG, I love it. Audra doesn't. You know, Enhancer, I love it. Audra doesn't. So we get that out the way. She doesn't like it, but we're gonna speak just about.
I don't like the single gene form, and I don't like what it does to some other genes when it drabs things out. To me, that light yellowy color that it does to some things, it just looks like washed out yellow to me. And I like bright oranges, like that mimic. I love that mimic because it just pops to me. Like bananas were always really attractive to me, like toffees and things like candies and stuff like that. Of course, nothing that's like...
I like the washed out look, baby. That's why I love you. Stop.
Not washed. Actually, in this camera I am, but...
But so DG, the really source. Here we go. We're gonna roll right into it and really fast. DG, since genetic testing, which we're fans of,
Yes.
were not around when DG was first discovered. Weren't around when a lot of these genes were first discovered. They're gonna have their hands full with all these genes, even the new genes that's coming out. But we can have a little bit more integrity now with newer genes being discovered, and hopefully them not having their hands too full to deal with categorizing new genes now. So again, I'm not gonna go into the history lesson, but let's say 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when DG was first discovered, you're gonna have DG. After that, Enhancer was discovered. I believe the Canadian line of Enhancer, DG, whatever it was discovered. It still was a long time ago. People have worked with these genes. People have traded, you know, these genes back and forth. People have bought and sold these genes back and forth. You're also gonna have DG, Enhancer. You're gonna have different levels of quality of both. You're gonna have some that don't look that great. You're gonna have some that look tremendous. So you have them on both sides of the coin. It's the same gene, and the reason we stand by it's the same gene is because 14 years later, you know, you can't look at an Enhancer and say, dang, that Enhancer looks insane. Now I'm a huge Enhancer fan and don't like DG. No, because it could be the opposite way around as well. You could look at a DG and it'd be the same exact thing.
It could be a mixture of both.
Right. So that's what we're going with, because what you don't know is, being that this gene
Two
has been
generations
along
before this
Right.
breeder got this particular line of Enhancer, then it was actually a male, a male Enhancer with a female, with 3 or 4 females that
DGs,
were
yeah.
DG or Enhancer, and you
what
don't really
do
know.
they sell it as? That
that-
goes back to the integrity.
That's the integrity that we're talking about. And
look-
it's not that 2-generation breeder before the breeder that you got it from can't be trusted. It's not
No.
that. It's just that's the normal cycle of things. That's what
Right.
happens.
And then you mix that now with, you know, everyone attacks or addresses the conversation of like COVID breeders. It is what it is. We got in around that time as well. as far as the ball pythons. But you have a lot of COVID breeders that jumped out. You have people that jumped in,
They've already jumped out.
and you mix all of that in as well. So theoretically speaking, you're literally looking at specific genes where you have a bunch of people got in, you have a bunch of people that's been existing here, a bunch of people got out. So in theory and in concept, we have a lot of people that are ball python breeders, hobbyists, enthusiasts, a lot. And of the total numbers, you probably have less than 5% of breeders that were around when DG and Enhancer was first discovered that are still working with it and still vested into that project. So if 5% of the hobby or the industry have breeders that still work with their initial stock, then in theory and factual, only 5% of the breeders in the entire industry can truly say that their stock is DG or their stock is Enhancer.
It's going back to that telephone game, unless you got it from the horse's mouth.
Right.
That's a Southern saying, I believe.
Actually, Brandon Nixon and I couldn't explain myself. We had a brief discussion because we're huge fans of Nixon Reptiles. It's actually one of Audra's favorite breeders. And we sat there and had a great engagement on YouTube about, Hurricane, Blitz, and Trick, and not to spin it away from DG, but briefly, finally you had a lot of people that said this is different, and some people that still say this is different. Go watch our last Gene Chaser series, but they're the same, and he even agrees that they're the same, but we still want to hold on to the integrity. Our Hurricane line, we ended up sourcing from Hans, in Europe. His Hurricane line, he sourced from Hans in Europe. Hans was the person that discovered the Hurricane line. So you see where we're going with this. I'm not trying to say, oh, that's the only thing we're going to work. But the thing is, it's not very many people that say, oh, I got Enhancer from Billy, and I'm just throwing him out there because I know he works. Billy Mutation Creation works with Enhancer. Or I got this line from Billy, or I got this DG line from the Bells. It's not very many people that can say that specifically. So once, it's just like you guys now. If you sell a snake to someone, you can't tell them what to do with that snake.
No, you cannot.
So
we get that a lot in general.
Yeah, so if you got 10, 12 years past the discovery of this gene, you cannot sit here now in the present day and say you have a pure anything. And gene testing is the way to go, and we support it 1,000%. But don't put too much weight or don't put too much food on their plate, okay? They can test facts of what they see, whether genes are present, but just because they get a test in from us that labels our test as a DG, has a beautiful picture of a snake of a DG, and they tested, and we'll touch on it briefly, for DGAN, DGB, and say that it's a DG, and they're going to catalog it as a beautiful, high quality DG. Who's to say that where I got it from
didn't mix?
They didn't mix Enhancer and DG together. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get out there. Hopefully everybody can get on the same playing field, that these genes that test out being the same, they're all the same thing. You will never be able to separate DG from Enhancer ever. Okay, because gene testing wasn't around way back when. We do have a chance now, small chance, for all new genes, newly discovered genes, to test out and be genetically different, but it's going to be unlikely. And it's going to be unlikely because the gene testing companies, RGI, Gray Rider Reptiles, which he's about to be a sponsor here very, very soon. You'll see what we're doing. But there are great companies, and unless they can get their hands on these genes and work out the test immediately, you won't be able to categorize the sources and origin where specific lines of genes come from. It's just like anything. It's like history. different accounts of history. We're not going to go through that.
No, we're not. No.
But, you know, one person account of how history went.
Yeah, versus another school account of how history went.
Is really, really bad. So we felt that the industry really, really needed this content. We actually super rushed this content, and it still ended up being close to 20 minutes.
He said, let's do this video real quick. It'd be 10 minutes from start to finish. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Oh.
But we love you guys.
Yes.
As Flawless Exotic Creations, Will, Audra, we are out.
You're out.